will be an improvement. And I think it'll also help with line of sight when vehicles are turning a corner, making a left on a street. And I know in my specific area that, not that the city plows it, but that was a problem for us, that trying to make a left, getting onto Addison Road, the snow is mounted so high that people can't see if cars are coming. So I imagine that that was also in certain areas of the city during the high snowfall. So I do believe this is a good purchase, and I certainly do support it. Thank you.
Alderman Sharkey? Yeah. Alderman Roy Wesley?
John, you mentioned about the trucks. It was saved probably on transmissions too, from going back and forth with the trucks. Plus, on a cul-de-sac, I take it could go the same distance as the truck, as if in a turn.
Kramer?
I could actually spin a tighter circle with an end loader than I can with a truck because of the center articulation on it. So basically, it allows us a lot more maneuverability, especially in those smaller areas, and also to place snow where we want. With the plow, as you know, you have to basically have it on your blade and you're moving the snow to a spot. This you can actually throw the snow to a location. You can shift, turn, and almost move piles where you don't have that ability. And a lot faster than using an end loader in theory, because it eliminates that reverse, constantly filling the bucket, dumping, coming back, clearing your space.
So in return, we're saving on manpower, we're saving on transmissions, we're saving on the safety of our residents because of a truck maybe backing up and you might not see them. We're saving on the safety of our employees at the same time. So if you put that all together, this is well worth it, and I call the question on it.
Okay. All right, questions, calls, no more debate. Let's do a roll call vote on this then. There was a motion on the floor, right? There was a second? Let's do a roll call vote on this, please.
Alderman Woods?
No.
Alderman Roy Wesley?
Yes.
Alderman Coles?
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski?
Yes.
Alderman Lazara?
Yes.
Alderman Eugene Wesley?
Yes.
Alderman Winger?
Yes.
Alderman Shockey?
No.
The motion carries. Okay, item number 7, report and recommendation for proposed new street light in Elizabeth Court, the Elizabeth Park. Huh?
Raleigh Court.
Raleigh Court, I'm sorry, Raleigh Court. As you got in your packet, you got those surveys, and I think there was one no. So, my question, John, there is money in the budget for a street light, because we budgeted. They did follow the procedure. Am I right? Mr. Kramer?
We're talking about the procedure, and correct, we did get some information. Traditionally, these would come in as a petition to us. This actually came in as a questionnaire by the homeowners association. I think that's the best way to put it, where they already did the
letter.
the polling, sent out a letter, got the votes from the resident. If you read a little further down in my memo, I did include our policy that we had adopted previously. This, of course, is a little different because they did already do a portion of the work for us. So again, we feel that it is a valid poll. Again, we had put about $25,000 in the CIP for new streetlights. If you would like us to go out, get a price, and have a streetlight brought back to you, a proposal for this, we feel comfortable that these petitions have been filled out. But again, I have to reiterate that it did not follow the original policy, but I believe the intent is still there on what was trying to be accomplished by this.
Okay. Mayor?
John, I know the policy, and I'm sure signatures are all valid and everything, but does it become a legal thing? Should we ask the attorney if that can come to us like this, or just in case? I'm not sure.
I mean, it's your policy. You guys wrote the policy, so if you want to deviate from the policy, that's your decision. Mr. Kramer's correct. I mean, the intent. I'm sure the survey is accurate by Elizabeth Park. I would, however, caution the council to be careful if you do waive this and go forward and get the light, because the policy says that we should send out a letter. It's our letter. We know officially that we sent it out. That's the results of the survey. I'm not saying that the Elizabeth Park or the Raleigh court is inaccurate, but we didn't send it out.
And that's all I'm saying is, do we talk to the attorney? I mean, I'm sure the residents want it. It's not a problem, but I just want to make sure it's all legal.
Alderman Joe Coles?
All right, wasn't this the light that we talked about last year? We're gonna put it in the circle of this ain't the one that we talked, not the one on Walnut Court. No, this is the one that we talked about, Elizabeth Park. Wasn't it, John?
Correct. We did place one light on Elizabeth Park
Oh, we
on
did.
the Essex Court. So that was
All right,
completed.
this is a different
There is
one.
one at the end of Catherine. This would be the last light, basically, in Elizabeth Park in the homeowners association. The last court that does not have a street
Oh,
light
all right,
located at
okay.
it. I believe that was the, intent
All right.
of the homeowners association requesting this light, was basically to finish off those cul-de-sacs.
All right, okay.
Alderman Roy Wesley?
I can't believe we're having this. Mr. Mayor, the council sits here and makes policy. We have a right to overstep those boundaries if we like. And I understand your question about attorneys, but if we're gonna sit here and do it strictly by the policy, you know what? There's no sense of any of us aldermen going to these association meetings. You know what? I'm gonna send Jeff. I'm gonna send John Kramer. We're supposed to sit there and represent the people. And, you know, the Elizabeth Park Homeowners Association went over and beyond to get their surveys done and get it done to make our job a little easier. Let's just get this done. Let's vote on it tonight. John, the last street light on the Essex was no more than $5,000, correct?
I believe it was $6,400 to do the directional drilling. Again, this might be cheaper because the electric could be closer. Remember when we did Essex, we had to tie in up the street on Essex. There could be power closer to that. So again, I would rather just us to have the ability to go out and get a price, and then we would come back to you with the formal quotation and for approval then.
At council next week?
As the way the policy is written, correct. It would have to go to council and be approved at that point.
For next week?
I don't know if I will have the price by that time, but I can surely try.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve a streetlight at Raleigh Court.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, I have a question. So we're going to approve a streetlight that we don't know a price tag and what it's going to cost.
Make the motion to approve a streetlight, bring it back to council, directly to council, not back to committee.
Well, if you don't have it by next meeting, it ain't going to be here till, then it's going back to committee. Because he don't know if he'll have a price here by,
He'll have a price within the next 2 council meetings, correct? Is that fair? Did someone, is that Mr. Kramer?
I should be able to get a price by next week. I can't envision I won't. The only thing that would make a difference would be if there was some availability on getting the light type similar to what we had, just to make sure that, with the price of materials nowadays, things are changing almost daily. So I would hate to come to you with an incorrect number, but I will try and get you a price.
My question is, could you have a price within the next 3 weeks?
Absolutely.
That's where we put it, directly to council. That's my motion.
we have a second motion, but a follow-up with that question. I don't feel, we have always done it in the past on this council, that we don't, if there ain't a price tag on what it's gonna cost to make the motion to purchase it, this thing could come back $9,000-$10,000, we don't know. So we're going to sit here as a council member of a committee, and we're going to pass a street light with a motion on the floor, a second to pass the street light for the street. I don't even know what the price tag is going to be. So if the price tag comes in $10,000, or we already approved it in the committee.
It still has to go to council.
I understand it, but I've never done it that way before.
I think this is a unique circumstance because we're deviating from the policy, so I think the motion should be, do you concur with deviating from going back to committee, sending out our own surveys, taking this question straight to the council when we get the price? So do you want to skip another committee meeting and just go straight to council when we get the price?
That's what I'm asking.
So we're not approving the light, we're just saying skip a step and we'll bring the light to council for approval when we get the price.
No, I believe, can you read the motion back? I thought the motion was to approve the light tonight, and bring the price back to council. The motion was to approve the light. So I
But
ain't
I'm
gonna
saying I don't think we need to do that, we just need to
Well, then
deviate
that
from the
motion needs to
policy.
be changed.
That's up to you.
Then that
Okay.
motion needs to be changed. So
But-
secondary agreed,
in-
strike that motion?
Whatever you wanna do.
Alderman Roy Wesley, you made a motion.
Okay, I amend the motion to, what is it, the policy?
We'll waive the.
Waive the policy?
Waive the new streetlight consideration and installation policy and bring the price directly to council, at either the next council meeting or the council meeting thereafter.
That's fine, that's the motion, I amend it.
Does the secondary agree?
Yes.
The only drawback I have on this is you might well just take this policy and throw it away then.
Could I add to this?
Go ahead, Alderman Roy Wesley.
All I gotta say is, if we're gonna go this route, I'm gonna be requesting staff to go to all these homeowners association meetings, all of them.
The only drawback here is that we pass a policy as this full council to obey by a policy for the street light. We have chosen to change the policy now in midstream. So I will tell the people out there in the public, might well just bring the street light out, because now we aren't going to follow a policy that was adopted. I don't know when this policy was adopted, and waste our staff time, but still adoption of a policy to move forward. Call the question, or all in favor?
And in return, Alderman Wesley,
It's over.
where does it say anywhere in this about homeowners association of the policy? Nothing is in there about homeowners associations.
Citywide. Doesn't care about homeowners, citywide.
It doesn't care about homeowners.
Okay, let's go. Call the question. All in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed. Call the roll call on it, please.
Alderman Woods? Alderman Roy Wesley?
Yes.
Alderman Coles?
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski?
Yes.
Alderman Lazara?
Yes.
Alderman Eugene Wesley?
No.
Alderman Winger?
Yes.
Alderman Shockey?
I will direct the policy, I will direct staff to redress this policy then and put homeowners in there or throw the whole policy out the door. That will be a motion on the floor now to throw the policy out the door or let anyone come.
You can't, it's
But
not
I
on the
will put it on the
agenda.
next agenda. We'll discuss it at the next meeting then. Report and recommendation, contract award to landscaping for the sidewalk replacement paver bricks. Amount of $35,161. That will be my motion. Say pass. I'll come back to number 8. I'm on number 9. So paver bricks for the city hall, $35,161. That was the lowest bid. I will make that motion to approve that.
I'll second.
Question? Alderman Roy Wesley.
This is for the City Hall, correct?
City hall paver bricks.
Okay. Where's this company located?
Bolingbrook, Illinois.
I take it they turned in all their insurance and prevailing wage chart things?
Correct, and I did contact several of their references, and they came back very highly recommended.
Okay, there's only two here. How many people bid on it?
2.
Okay. Thank you.
Keep in mind, this went out to bid twice. The first time it went out, no one bid for it. So it went out twice. So that is my motion. All in favor? Any other question? All in favor, aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8, we'll go back to item number 8. Work order awarded to Baxter and Woods for $34,000 for the engineer design service for the Metro parking lot and light improvement. That will be my motion. Second. Questions? Concerns? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Opposed. One opposed. Okay. The next item, we already did that, the retaining wall. Replace the retaining wall over by the Irving Park Railroad crossing there. Again, contract award with the system landscaping, $46,030, that, not to exceed that. That is my motion to approve. Again, 3 bidders on this. They are the lowest bidder. They had been, background check has been checked, and references have been checked. All in favor? Is there a second on the motion? Second. Question? Alderman Roy Wesley.
Mr. Kramer, I just want to make sure, there's a big difference in these prices from the landscapers from A-Lamp and Countryside. I mean, we're talking $20,000. So I'm hoping that the landscaper who's doing this understands the whole bid of what they're going to do on this.
Alderman Kramer.
There were some unique circumstances with this retaining wall, one of which was having to have a Metra flagger on the job because of the proximity to the Metra train tracks. And I think that's why some perhaps may have bid a little higher than others on it. This Fortes Systems Landscaping actually got their start in business doing retaining walls. They then moved into concrete flat work. They've been in business for nearly 15 years now. I did contact several park districts that gave them very high recommendation both on retaining walls and flat work. I think they're more than qualified, and I'm sure they realize the involvement of this project. Again, I guess I will say it like this. It's a rather small job and unfortunately became a rather big job because of the proximity of the retaining wall. So I'm very comfortable with that $46,000 price.
The question was that, and the question's not with you comfortable being with it, it's understanding that the landscaper understands the full basic of the contract because of the difference of $20,000 and not going shortcuts and saying, well, I can't do that for that price and coming back. So that's my concern.
Mr. Kramer.
I did speak with the contractor. They are aware of it. I'm not going to speak to why the price is $20,000. That I don't know. But they are aware of they got the contract, they read the requirements, and they are fully aware of their price that they gave the city.
Any other questions? This motion on the floor. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item to consider future meeting. Citywide drainage, July, Tall Oaks. To be determined, flow monitoring report, water monitoring report, June 23rd, illegal sanitation connection, June 23rd. Alley replacement design contract, June 23rd. I will also be adding the proposed new street light policy. We will address that again. I will add that back on the agenda. Any other items? Mayor?
I think, I don't know, Al, the 23rd, we're gonna have Chris Vonamy here. Is that correct?
That is correct. Chris Vonneby will be here on the 23rd making a presentation on stormwater and the operations of the Itasca Wooddale Reservoir.
Okay. Christine Winger.
Mr. Members West.
You may remember a couple weeks ago, we had the discussion with the Georgetown Homeowners Association coming in to discuss the potential installation of a light and the potential for a cost share between different governmental entities. We did pose that question to the Wooddale Park District. They responded back that they're not interested in the cost share. So would you like to have this placed on a future agenda to finish this up, or what would you like to do with this?
No, it's Alderman Donald. It's in that ward. You want it on there?
Yeah, let's put closure on it and,
So you want it back on the agenda?
yeah, please.
All right. Put that back on the agenda. Christine, anything else, or was that?
Yeah, question, or Ms. Alderman Shaki, did you wish to speak on that?
Something else.
Okay. The other, Mr. Kramer, where are we at on the grant money for the bridge, decorative? Did we get the equipment in, or? I don't remember an individual, I thought an individual was gonna come and talk to us.
I can't speak for the individual coming in to talk to us, but we have contacted IDOT. We requested a meeting from them to talk about the submittal that was made by Strand. We've requested that they are in process of considering that for a subject, a follow-up meeting. So I know that sounds a little vague, but that's where we're at with the process. IDOT is somewhat hesitant trying to schedule a meeting with us.
I thought we were gonna buy the equipment though, so we didn't lose the grant.
That is the ultimate goal. We're just looking for concurrence that the light that is being proposed is used elsewhere on other bridges. Their concern, IDOT's concern, is that there may be a glare that may be caused by the decorative lighting. We don't feel at this point that that's a valid concern. But once that we have that initial meeting with them, then we're going to move ahead purchasing the lights.
Well, wasn't there a railing we could have bought then instead of the lights, or I can't recall now.
If I recall correctly, that was a very expensive proposition, and the funds were not there. I think it exceeded over $360,000 to include the lighting and the railing. So at this point, we were going to move ahead with the lighting.
Okay, I'll ask for further questions offline. Thank you.
Yes, if I may. We tried to forcibly annex some property and ran into a lot of problems. And I thought we were going to come up with a policy on annexation. We have a lot of homes, specifically single homes, that are not in Wooddale. And I'd like to see us come up with something so when we want to annex, we don't have to listen to sob stories.
Yeah, I'm a little confused on that. I thought we were working on the policy, and then the council kind of directed that they didn't want to force annex just anybody in general, so we kind of put that policy to the side and weren't planning on bringing it back. If I'm mistaken, we've already started working on it. We could bring it back, but there didn't seem to be any interest in any future forced annexations.
I personally would like to see some specific policy. So if we do want to annex again, we have an opportunity to do so.
I would be more than happy to add that on the agenda, but I think that would mainly fall under building and zoning. I mean, am I correct? I mean,
Well, not only that, but I mean, we've come to this in the past where, is this a majority of the council? Are they interested in that? Because I don't want to spend a lot of staff time working on this if we're all just gonna,
Well, may I interrupt? I think what he's trying to bring up is if there's a single house in the middle of the block, which we do have a couple of those, if they want to annex in,
well, that's a voluntary annexation, different than a forced annexation
according
anyway.
to the way I understand it, if I ain't mistaken, if a house is joining together, okay, touching the other property, and say their septic field fails, we could force them into annex in by no questions asked.
Yes.
And I think, I don't know if is that where you were going with, Dan?
Well, I'm just looking at the map and seeing all these individual or 2 houses or 3 houses that don't belong in Wooddale. And I think we ought to straighten it out and clean it up. And I think I'd like to hear whatever the whole council would like to let the manager know whether we should have a policy so that we don't have to sit here and listen to what we did last time. And we had to back off because we didn't have any kind of a specific policy. And it should probably go on planning and zoning.
We can certainly bring you that policy. We had started working on it. I think it's well on its way to being completed. However, keep in mind, just because we have the policy, that person gets the letter that we're going to force annex them. They're going to come in. They're not going to be happy. If they wanted to come into the city, they would have come in and applied for a regular annexation in the first place. So you're still going to get that upset resident in here that doesn't want to annex into the city. So if you want to listen to them, and they're going to come still. So.
But if we have something in writing already, it's going to be a lot easier.
So I guess, is the council in favor of bringing that to planning? I have no problem. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so as the chairman of planning and zoning, I would like to hear from everyone and if you do want to discuss this or not. And I just want clarification, Alderman Shockey, is it your goal with this to develop a plan to force annex the pockets of homes? And is this a new project that we're gonna work on? Okay. So I'm just gonna start with Alderman Roy Wesley. It's my feeling that when we tried to annex the section, to force annex it, that it was more of an administration way of handling it, and that some things fell through there, and it's really, in the future, a forced annex is part of the leadership of the process of the city administration to take us through those steps as we decide, as well as the aldermen to reach out to their constituents or future ones to see what they want. Alderman Roy Wesley, your thoughts?
I'd like to, when we're saying force annexing, we're talking to pockets, not on the border, correct? I want to make sure that we're talking the same thing. I'm not talking like on 3rd Avenue on the corner of 83.
Right.
I'm talking like over maybe like Deer Path, we have some houses that aren't in the city, and on Tioga Trail, and I'm sure there's some in Ward 2 and so forth, but that's what we're looking at. Am I correct? Because if that's the understanding, I'll be in favor of that, because they're benefiting from the city streets, city sewers, if they're connected. So, and the beautification of the streets and possibly sidewalks.
Mr. Murmas?
And maybe we can save some time tonight. I actually had this on my list of things I wanted to discuss as city council goals moving forward for a strategic planning session sometime in the next couple months. It's one of the top priorities. We've got a big section right in the middle of town with a bunch of unincorporated properties. We've got the small pockets of unincorporated properties. So maybe we can save some time and not discuss this at length tonight, and bring it up in more of a planning environment, see where we want to go there, and then formulate the policy if we want to do that.
I'm okay with that as well, and I'm going to give the floor back to Alderman Eugene Wesley.
I I just was asking for public works items to be at a future meeting, but, I mean, Jeff summed it all up, it's gonna be talked about, but, Mr. Coles?
Can I say something? Mohawk Manor. Go into Mohawk Manor and ask them people in Mohawk Manor if they want to be annexed into the city of Wooddale. That's a place that's got a lot of places that are unincorporated into Wooddale. You've got people that spot that's has a address, a Wooddale address, but they're still not annexed into them, on the corner of Tioga and Maury. And he doesn't want to spend no $8,000 to $10,000 to have a sewer system hooked up. And this is what you're gonna run into, is people that live in certain sections don't want to be in there. First of all, the taxes are gonna go up, and some of these people cannot afford to do that. I mean, you're talking about forcing people to come into Wooddale. The way you can force somebody in Wooddale, if the person on the right-hand side of them and on the left-hand side of them is in Wooddale, and the one in back of them is Wooddale, then he can be forced in. If he wants to pay all the expenses. And we do have a policy that he can spread it out. Oh, if I remember right, over a period of 10 years, the water bill and stuff like that, and the sewer bill.
Okay.
But you got problems with the people that don't want to, because first of all, their real estate taxes are going to go up at least $2,000 right off the bat. So this is what you got to worry about when you're trying to talk about forcing people that are unincorporated or people who want to come in, and they find out how much it's going to cost. They don't want to come in anymore. So you've got to be real careful about what you're doing, trying to force people, especially this time of this part of the year where there's no work and people haven't got any money. So you got to be a little careful. I know there's all kind of spots around, and you just got to be careful.
Joe, we aren't going to get into this anymore because
All right,
it's not
I
an
know that,
agenda.
but I just
But-
wanted to let everybody know.
It's in a future meeting.
Yeah.
It's not on the agenda.
I just want to let everybody know when they start trying to force people in that don't want to come in.
Okay, so any other items added to Public Works? Alderman Roy Wesley.
Yeah. John, could